All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday evening book reading club. We are reading the book called Dissolving Ego by Helen Hamilton, and we have covered four chapters so far, and we are on chapter five. So, before we jump into the reading, can everyone one by one share what was their week like and how much time in the week they were aware of themselves as awareness? And also, has it bring any change in your day-to-day life? So we'll go with Gabby.
Wow. Hi, Mitaji. Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello.
It's all good. So far, the week is going all right. Little bit busy at work, but sometime, yes, I can remind myself like if the mind is going into the same pattern and all that. Um, yeah, it's just sometimes, yes, you can see yourself like you are getting into the same kind of uh, behavior and all that, but as soon as you remind yourself like you don't need to be act in the same way, so it's just it's there is really a magical thing, then you feel like you don't need to react it, the situation is already perfect by itself. So I think that's what I learning, like sometime I don't want to react whatever is happening, that's happening. Wherever I can feel like my suggestions doesn't matter, or sometimes quiet is staying with the silence, or quiet is better than getting involved with the whole sham. So far all good.
Okay. Monica.
My week was interesting. We had a dance performance and I also had to take vaccination. Now, both of these required me to be in the present moment. Like I'm if I talk about vaccination, I had to have two vaccinations and I'm scared of needles. I go into a panic mode. So the only way I can come back is to be very mindful, very aware, breathe, deep breathings, concentrate on my breath, think. So that's how I prepare myself to go there and take the vaccination, come out, prepare, breathe. So that entire day was like, okay, Monica, you're breathing from morning, very aware. Regarding the dance performance as well, what happens is because I'm going on stage or performing, it is like, okay, deep breaths, being aware of yourself, what's happening. So those two sort of pulled me into the present moment, no past, no future, it's in the present. Talking about work, work is as usual hectic, but there are moments where I make sure that if it's getting too hectic, I can feel the change of my breath, and that's where then I take a pause to get back to my breath.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Preeti. Preeti, you're next.
Oh, there are moments in the day I'm remembering to just check the thoughts and who's thinking those thoughts like that. Not as much if I'm busy at work. I like today. I noticed I didn't do it much. But I'm in the mornings. I'm trying to do one meditation time when I'll just watch the thoughts and do nothing. So overall, I think the week's been okay, even with some challenges. I could sort of more carefully think through and not being reactive. So responding in a different way, a more thoughtful way. But I really like Helen Hamilton's talks are really good. The satsang she has, I think she does them once a week and records them. So there's a lot of talks online. I really enjoyed listening to her satsangs, and then she'll have little practices in between.
Okay. So one of the thing in the chapter they said that you have to tune in every day. You have to Dedicate some time of your day, especially for this, of doing nothing. So that has to be taken a note of, that it is not something will accelerate if you are not working on it. So you have to keep coming back. You have to specially dedicate time to it every day and then keep coming back to it. Many times what happens, the character takes over. It is not important what you read. It is not important what you listen. It is not important what you see, because only the character enjoys it. Who you are doesn't need any video talk. It doesn't need anything. It's full on itself. But our mind, our character has this um, habitual pattern that it plays with these things also as a toy, and then at one point it will get over it and it will throw it away. Same happens with this spiritual teacher, that spiritual teacher, that talk, this talk, that talk. You keep jumping from here and here and there, here and there. What is important is sitting at some place quiet and checking, is there any separate person here? If there is no separate person, what it is? In last class, I think I mentioned that our mind will use this knowledge also and create suffering out of it. That's the nature of mind. Then it will judge, oh, I resonate with that. Oh, I don't resonate with that. Oh, I did not understand that. Oh, I understood that. Oh, that feels so good. Oh, that doesn't feel so good. Who's doing all these things? The character. So
It,
we have
it
to.
it is the character, but it the way I look at it, if I sit in the morning with a cup of tea, I'll just think, maybe come back, think, come back like that. Whereas when I listen to a talk, I feel like maybe there's some good stuff going into my head. Like it's
No,
got to be better listening to a talk, right, than just thinking.
no. See, again, as I said, whether you read a magazine or whether you read a Gita, for mind, it is the information itself. So mind need information to run and to uh, do a circus of its own. So it doesn't matter what you. Now these are stages, are in the evolutionary stages. It's okay when you started doing this, but once you see who you are, then you have to drop everything. Occasional here and there you watch video, that's not a problem. But the regular practice should be touching base on who you are. So when you stay with who you are not touching something very small thing. It's a source of creation. You're touching the most powerful thing in the entire universe, cosmos. So because you can't see it, because there is no book written about it, doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Imagine it's a source of everything. Know that it's a source of everything. So you just simply come, because this happens with me, because once you know, mind say, I got it now. There is no point in our life when we can say, I got it now. You have to keep coming back to yourself, keep coming back. It's a never ending story. There will be no point in our journey where we'll say, now I got it, and then engage into delete. Because this finite mind will never know the nature of infinite. We cannot possibly know infinite in the finite mind. So mind cannot know it. It cannot create any concept around it. It cannot create any conclusion around it. It has to be living experience. That's why coming back is important. Living experience, moment by moment of it, is what brings transformation. We'll go to Anjan.
Namaste, Mitaji. Week was good most of the time, but yeah, I had succumbed to the character, I mean, literally, been anger, fear were all playing. More often than not, I am back to my awareness, the consciousness. And now the change after started being reading the book is previously, let's say I'm observing the breath, I was focusing on the breath, but now it's not on the breath but the observation itself. So that's something which is interesting. Even the body sensation, the emotions, I think the observation. But when I am really, the anger and fear is something which will just creep in. Yeah, and I think that's the practice that is needed to be worked on.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Anu?
Hello, everyone. I would say this week was comparatively better than the previous weeks, in the sense that when something was bothering or when I'm like too worried about whatever was happening, I was able to come to that awareness of to the present, or okay, this is not correct. I should focus on this moment. So at least that thought has been coming quite a lot of time this week. So I think that's an improvement. And I tried sitting without doing anything for, I could do only one day for
Mm.
some minutes. So I couldn't do for the whole week, but I will try to do it more often on a day or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why every day it's very, I see in myself when I don't dedicate time, it's usually when that day is not with the quality. We
Yeah, but
have,
the thing is that all the other things take always priority. That's the thing. And I always feel like,
so
okay, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. So yeah,
that's how the matrix is. The
yeah,
matrix is like that. Ki you only will say, oh, this is important or that is important, but it
yeah,
gives the importance to what is really important,
yeah, yeah. True.
which is coming back to your true self. And don't take it wrong. It happens at certain time. The word said to you will mean same word will mean different meaning at different stages.
Mm,
So that's okay. But any start is a start. That's a beautiful thing. I
yeah, yeah.
I went to senior citizen class yesterday, and literally they came and hugged me and kissed me on my cheek. There's a 75-year-old ladies there, and I could see the joy in them, and I could see the uh, their give why we were missing on this throughout our life. So just and somewhere there they did not even understood what I'm doing. So it's just a time, right time, right people. Today also miracle. I'm telling a daily miracle happening. Today there was a class at my home. Out of 10 people, 10, 11 people, no one turned up because it was raining. And one lady turned up and she said, Mitaji, we will only talk today. We'll not do anything. I said, no, no, we'll do all the yogas and everything. She said, no, no, I just want to talk. I just want to know your story. So I took that opportunity and I just said, let's start with the meditation. And I started with this self-inquiry meditation with her. And then we just kept checking and asking her what is feel like this, that. You won't imagine that she was the first time she did it and she quickly got it. And she was immediately relieved from her father's death grievance, what was happening in her. As soon as she understood that her father and her is not two different people, she immediately clicked. So, as she works in old age home, like a senior citizen old age home, she says, I see death every day. She's a very compassionate, passionate woman. And She said, I always felt that there is something more to this physical existence because she's seeing death every day. Every day, somebody is dying in her 400 people nursing home. And as soon as she did this, she immediately got it. Immediately, without any failure, she just started laughing. She said, I always knew there is something to it, more to life. And she said, I got it finally. So it's miracle how people did not turn up, only she turned up, and then only she said, no, we won't do yoga, we'll just listen to this, we'll just do, and then it just all like feels like a design to me.
Mm.
Right time, right people at right place, like that.
Or it created itself like that. That
Mm.
situation created itself like that.
That's
So
it.
she could have that experience.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Because it's one consciousness and it's balancing itself out. There is so much unconsciousness, so more consciousness, unconsciousness, it just balances itself out. It's just a play happening. Omkar.
Yeah, Mitaji. So I made sure after our last book, the reading of awareness that we did,
Mm.
I tried at least 15 to 20 minutes every day in the morning.
Mm.
The moment I get up, the first thing I do is just switch off everything, just close myself in a room and just sit there for 15 minutes. And it's very silent at that moment, that point in time, talking like 5 in the morning.
Mhm.
Felt really good. I mean, the day was quite relaxed after that. Luckily, I didn't have much work at office last week, so it was good. Um, Other thing that has I'm seeing as I'm getting interested in reading itself, which I've never done in past 20 years. I've never held book in last 20 years after my engineering. So that's a big change, first of all. And last weekend, I went doing some seva in one of the new temples that has opened in Liverpool. Uh, just went there, no kept my ego or anything out. Just whatever people asked me to do, I did it without thinking. Should I do it? Not do it?
Mm.
Asked me to serve food, I did that. I did everything. So kind of felt very different and actually felt nice of
Yeah.
keeping the ego position or anything aside and just I mean one was it was maybe a temple
Who was trying
that
to
I
do that?
was huh
Who was trying to keep aside, ego aside?
the probably the mind was playing that saying that you need to keep the ego aside and try doing something without that
This is the ego.
we
This is the ego doing Shirsasana.
yes
So sometimes ego also pretend to be very humble.
yeah
It plays both sides.
mm,
And that's when it's very important to know that you're not even that.
mm,
That's a trap. See, when ego is on the ugly side, you can recognize, oh, this is ego. But when ego plays the good side, you can't recognize it. That's the play. Do you see? So somehow it engages either this side, oh, I won't do this, I won't do this, I will do this, I will do that. Or some while it will say, no, I will be very humble today. I will only do what is been told to me. Who's doing that? So catching ego into that mode is one step up the awareness. So awareness doesn't have any choices or preferences. Always remember the choices and preferences are made by ego only. This or that. All awareness does is instantly do the things without thinking whether I will do like this or I will not do like that. It's just spontaneous. The
But then
Yeah, but
wouldn't
I felt there were few moments which were spontaneous
good,
in that part,
good.
which made probably me felt feel good about it.
Yeah. Spontaneous act is act of self,
Yeah.
and any choices, preferences is act of ego.
Hmm.
so the choice to go and serve or
Yeah.
to choose the temple to serve at as opposed to something else, is that all ego?
100%. For awareness, there is no temple.
Omkar, you should have just stayed home and watched TV.
I did that as well. I
That's
watched the India New Zealand match.
for awareness, there is no temple. No? Awareness itself is a temple.
Yeah.
Kruti. So, oh,
Namaste, Raji. Um,
hello.
my week was good. Busy with work and kids and all the managing activities as well. So, well, I did dedicate one day. I think, yeah, doing nothing, just sit. Don't go in past or future. Just one day, and then rest of days in the morning I always do like 10 to 15 minutes meditation with breath work. But I'm not sure, like, so instead of that, after breath work I go in actually the meditation, that mindset, like, it's similar to what you are saying, I think, like just sit, but like closing my eyes rather than opening eyes. So yeah. Um, yeah, it like I can see some improvements because when I go to gym, I do exercise, or even I talk to somebody, like always set in background thoughts and everything going, and which I was not aware before. But nowadays, I'm just saying like there is no point to go in past. There is no point to go in future. Just live in present. So that awareness is coming, but it doesn't stay for long, unfortunately. But yeah, I will try to keep that for long. Yeah.
If you don't find time, then why don't, this is so simple method. Can't you do while sleeping? When you go to bed, see, the right way of doing is to make it like a child's play. Every day, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever, you are going with a dog. Am I here? What is in here? What is in this moment? Like a self-inquiry questions. Is there any character now? I'm walking my dog. Is there any character here? Or am I the one who's walking? So it play with it. It is no, you can't go wrong with it. Just play with it. Ask different question. Am I here? How do I feel, how I me feel like? It doesn't have to be sitting in special time. While driving, you can do it. While walking on a dog, you can do it. While you are in park, when you go to drop your kids, when you don't have to be vocal. You can do it inside. It's like a self talk, but this self talk is now like a self inquiry.
Right.
You're,
Okay.
you're talking anyway to your in your head.
Yes.
All I'm saying is change the content of that talk.
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, because sometimes we don't get like dedicated time for that. But so
So
instead of doing like,
dedicated time is also important. That dedicated time is also important, but you do this also, like play with it. It is something to play with.
okay.
I keep playing with it. I always go within and I check who am I, who am I, because I know this finite mind cannot know who am I.
Hmm.
Okay, that's not the point to know. I'm not here to satisfy my mind. I'm here to be in touch with who I am. So knowing who I am is not important. Being, inquiring and being with who I am is important.
Okay. Sure.
Get
Thank
it?
you.
All right. Let's go to the reading now. Chapter 5, Being Aware of Awareness. At am I audible?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right, chapter 5, being aware of awareness. At every moment, we are aware. We can begin to see that. Let me just mute everyone so that there's no noise. Mute all. Okay. Hmm. Being aware of awareness. At every moment, we are aware. We can begin to see that there is always awareness present. Something within us is always seeing what have been trained to focus our awareness totally on what we are aware of and not at all on the awareness itself. What Anjan was saying, that now I'm aware of the observer. That's what it is saying. At every moment we are aware, we can begin to see that there is always awareness present. Something within us is always seeing. We have been trained to focus our awareness totally on what we are aware of and not at all on the awareness itself. All day, throughout the waking hours, we are aware of thoughts, emotions, social interaction, our body, events in the world, and on it goes. There is a background of awareness that is always noticing whatever is going on in the outer world, such as where our body is, who we are with, what the weather is like, etc. It is also always noticing what is going on in our inner world of thoughts, feeling, and in the body, sensations in the body. This awareness is not some far off place that you have to reach. On contrary, it is so common and normal to you that you do not ever notice it. Every time you say my mind is so busy, then you are noticing what your mind is doing but putting no attention on that which notices. The practice is simply to take our attention to take your attention away from what you are aware of and to put it on the awareness itself. Anjan, you wanna read?
Yeah, thank you. Mhm. Awareness is not a feeling and does not feel any particular way. It is just aware. Every time you say, I know, it is this same awareness recording all that is appearing in front of it, but you call it me. It is simply that aware intelligence that seems to wake up every morning and watches all that occurs each day until the time comes for sleep. It is not special and it will not feel special. It just is. Awareness is just the ordinary awareness that you are using right now to read this. If somebody came in the room and began to talk to you, then you would effortlessly be aware of that person and what they were saying. You cannot switch off awareness. The practice of being aware of awareness. At first, it is enough to simply set aside some time each day to sit down and be aware that you are aware. It is as simple as noticing that you have awareness. At any moment, you cannot deny you are aware because you are aware of all the stimuli coming in through the senses. Simply being aware of your awareness is enough. You can only be aware of awareness or aware of your thoughts, but not both at the same time. Frequently, you will notice awareness has gone to thoughts, and you must simply redirect your awareness back to being aware of itself. Awareness, aware of awareness. That's simple, no tricks. Thinking about being aware is not the same.
Read that, sorry, please.
Awareness, aware of awareness.
No, no, no. The paragraph. Sorry.
Okay. Simply being aware of your awareness is enough.
Can only be
Can
aware.
only be aware of awareness or aware of your thoughts, but not both at the same time. Frequently, you will notice awareness has gone to thoughts, and you must simply redirect your awareness back to being aware of itself. Awareness, aware of awareness. So
Mm,
awareness, aware of
Bit
itself.
confusing.
Awareness, aware of itself, right? Awareness, aware of
Can you
awareness. That's
can you
simple.
can you
Not-
Anjan, can you explain the paragraph, please?
Yeah. See, what simply being aware of your awareness is enough. Like, so let's say I'm sitting here, I am getting anger, right? Or I am getting itching in my shoulder. Now there is itching, there is skin, and I can be aware. I can focus on awareness. That's what I was being trained, or we are being trained most of the time. Now, just knowing that okay, I am aware of it. I'm aware of it, and then right now I'm aware of my sound. Right now I'm aware of the sound echoing my in room. Like I'm not focusing on the sound. I'm not focusing on how nice my sound look like, or how awkward my sound is. But I'm aware that there is an awareness of the sound. So that's what it says. So it's basically one layer deep, right? Object is something happening like a sound, itching, emotion, but below the object there is an awareness. So noticing that.
yeah. Mitaji, what I'm confused is this line. You can only be aware of awareness or aware of thoughts, but not both.
So that's basically that applies, right, Monica? You can never be aware of two things at any time. Try doing aware of anything two times. No, forget about awareness. Can you be aware of your itching and also your thought? Or aware of smell as well as music?
You can, right?
No, you try it. You can't be.
So I think
A simple
what
thing.
my thinking is we
Yeah.
should replace that word aware with attention. You
No,
can't attend to the awareness and attend to the thoughts in the same time.
no. This is no. So what basically it is saying, um, right now, look at the camera. We are aware of each other, right? At one point, I am aware of all of you. I'm aware of Priti, I'm aware of this. So I can be aware of n number of things in one moment. It's not the things, n number of things I am aware of. What so usually what happens? My focus is on the object which I am aware of. It can be one object, two object, three object. It can be so it's very simple when it comes to the outside world, but it is very difficult when it comes to inside world. So there is a object like you are there, and then there is an inside world that thought is there. Do you understand? So I can be aware of you right now, and I can be aware of my thought also. Okay. But the problem is this, what it is saying, that I am thinking, I'm aware of my thought, I'm speaking, I'm aware of you. Now this is happening. Now I'm only aware of the object. Object means thought is also object. What is in front of me is also object. So we are conditioned like that. We are aware of what is we are aware of, but not what is aware. So we are not aware of the awareness itself. Most of the time we are aware of the object in which the awareness is aware of. So right now, this me as awareness is aware of you. So me as awareness is aware of everything happening in this moment. Okay. So awareness Now my son can walk in, my wife is cleaning the dishes. I'm aware when I'm talking to you. Whatever is happening in the present moment, I'm aware of those things. It can be single thing, it can be multiple things. But I am aware of the objects, what is happening in this moment most of the time. I am not aware of what is observing those things happening. So when I'm thinking, my awareness gets entangled into thinking and I become thinking. So this is the quality of awareness. Whatever it gets engaged into, it takes a shape of it. So if the awareness is in my head, I become my head. The awareness becomes the head. If it is in the pain in the body, awareness becomes the pain in the body. So the entire, it takes a shape of whatever it looks at. It just get completely sucked into the experience of that object. And it forgets that it is not that experience, it is the one who is aware of that experience. Is it clear? Not clear? Are you aware of me now as
Yes.
object?
Yes.
Now ask yourself, what is that in you which is aware of me? So you are aware of me now. I am the
Mm.
object. What is that thing in you which is aware of me? It is so simple. You are aware all the time. That's what it says. There is no trick. It
Yeah.
is so simpler than simple.
So I think so, Mitaji, I think this is it's all. I think it resonates exactly what it says. I mean, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I to answers to Monica's point, I think of course we have multiple senses, right? Like we have smell, taste, hearing, everything. Right now, I can see you, Mitaji, for example, you speaking, and I can hear your voice, right? Now, that's good. If you look at the broader frame, I can do both, right? It's coming. It's like, but if I split that into sub-second, right? Now I can either, my awareness is either on the visual, and then in the next subfraction time, its awareness is on the audio. Now, even if I see the screen, I can see some 8 faces, right? But within by the time I move my eyelids on all of them, my awareness is split. Like I'm aware of that split second awareness of each of those senses. So I think what they're calling out, if the moment we become aware of awareness itself, you can't have an awareness, like you can't be in the thoughts. So that's something which was called out. So you can only be aware of awareness or aware of your thoughts, but not
It's
both.
simple, huh? It's simple, like you are looking at me, right?
Yeah.
As soon as I said to you, ki, what is that thing which is aware of me? So immediately you went back within you
Yeah.
to check. Then the object lose the importance. Object is still there, but
Mm.
the focus went on to the one which is aware of that object. And immediately that's what it is saying, ki, when you can only be aware of one thing at one time, because then once when you're thinking and when you ask question, or who is watching these thoughts, immediately thoughts are still there, but it loses the importance,
Mhm.
and the focus comes to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not complicated, it's very simple. Like, that's, you are aware of everything every day, every moment. There is no time that you cannot be aware. Yes, you are always aware.
You're not conscious of that awareness most of the time.
Correct. That's what she's saying. Now it's a simple shift. Instead of being aware of the object or consumed by what the subject of the awareness, come back to the
Mm.
subject, not the object. All right. Who's next reading? Anjan was reading, no?
In
Yeah.
general.
Yeah. Okay. You want me to continue or?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good. You're liking my voice. That's nice. Who's saying
Yeah,
that? Who is saying that? Who is saying that?
you have a beautiful voice, don't worry. See,
Okay.
one more thing, this character, don't get engaged into and the character awareness. It is only for understanding. Once you reach who you are, everything becomes you.
Mm.
There is
Yeah.
no character, it's always only you.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Great. Thinking about being aware is not the same as simply being aware of awareness. This will be your mind's biggest trick to stop you practicing, and so you must overcome this and see it clearly. Any thought about awareness is noticed in the awareness itself. We have all spent much time thinking about awareness, and that has not worked. This is probably one of the reasons you were drawn to this book, to finally move beyond this, thinking about something and actually of it. I'm sorry, I'll read it again. Thinking about something and the actuality of it are very different things. Thinking about awareness leads to a stronger sense of separation. Being aware of awareness will begin to dissolve the separateness. It is either one or the other. You can only be aware of one thing at once, so you are either aware of your awareness or not.
Mm.
Beautiful. This is what we were talking about here. It's 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 not about reading, it's not about watching videos, it's not about you know uh, having fun, mind having fun with the spiritual stuff. It's about being aware, going to awareness and actually experiencing it. That dissolves the separate character. We can go and watch thousands of videos, mind will feel beautiful, but that's not the goal we have, because whoever is feeling beautiful will feel ugly next moment. So the she's saying no true difference can be made in you if you just keep doing that. No talks, no videos, no nothing can help you to dissolve the separate sense of self. Only coming back to yourself and checking that there is no separate self will dissolve the separate self.
Beautiful.
Monica,
The progression of the practice. As you start your practice, it will feel like there is a sense of I am aware of my awareness, as if there are two entities, in fact. It will feel as though there is a you which is aware of the bigger awareness. Everyone must start from here, and this is okay. As you continue your practice, it will be realized at some point as a knowing rather than a thought. That awareness is simply aware of itself. It will be seen clearly that awareness is simply choosing to focus on itself rather than other supposed object out there. And this includes thoughts. Thoughts are out there to the pure awareness that you are. As you progress, you will see that awareness is developing more and more of a test of itself and has less interest in what it is aware of. To be aware of something like thoughts, feeling, objects, etc., there must be two things. One thing that is aware and the other thing that is aware of. We could say that being aware of something is where the split into two seemingly entities occur. A me that is trying to get back to the self. This does not mean that you will become unable to function in the world or hold a conversation, as you cannot be aware of where your body is or what someone is saying. It is more that you will be aware of everything in your field of experience without any tendency to label them with names and forms. You simply begin to take it all in paranomically. As with each one of these practices, at first, you will need to make time to sit down and be aware of your awareness. But as you continue, you will begin to notice you are aware of awareness when you're moving around your life. An example of this is that you might suddenly see that when you're driving, awareness must be aware to be able to watch the road and you're noticing it. You might find you're listening to someone talk and suddenly understand that awareness must be there to hear the words. As soon as you realize this, awareness is aware of itself. Notice the tendency of mind to object by saying, I cannot be aware of awareness when I'm doing something else. At first, this may seem to be very true, but as you persist, you will see that awareness can be focused in here and out there at the same time. In actuality, we begin to see that awareness really does not make a distinction between in here or out there. It only sees the oneness of awareness. In here and out there are simply divisions that have seemed to be very real because you have spent much time reinforcing that belief with thoughts. Eventually, you will see that you are able to be aware of awareness no matter what the body is doing or the mind is thinking. It will be realized that mind and body are simply happening in your experience, and you have a choice always what to be aware of. You will not lose on life. You will not lose your life, your experiences, or your joy by focusing awareness on itself all the time. But simply you will lose the ability to feel fear and a sense of separation, which leads to desire and suffering. The thought, I am aware, will be seen to be arising in awareness. The sense of you being aware will be seen clearly to be arising after awareness is there. You will come to know that awareness must be there first before any I thought can be noticed.
This is beautiful because this is where it is. Now, you are looking at me, I am looking at you. Okay. We are aware of each other. So, are we aware of each other now? Or I can say, oh, I think I'm aware. Like,
Mhm.
so it's saying even one thought, before one thought, ki I am aware of this screen.
You're aware.
I am aware.
Correct.
So even that thought that I am aware is the secondary. That's a mind's thought. What it reminds me of that word, stay still, seek nothing, do nothing. When you stay still, you just sit, do nothing, or just sit, seek nothing. What does that mean? Ultimately, it means you are abiding in awareness.
Mm.
Yeah. I think what I got in this conversation, Mitaji, as you speak and also as you read,
Mhm.
there are two things here. There are
Mhm.
two things, right? One is awareness of this awareness itself, right?
Mhm.
That I'm listening to conversation. Let's imagine you're asking question like you're come in a very critical. I can imagine the examinations, right? When you're asking question, I need to be aware of your conversation to answer to it. But another thing is the awareness of the awareness. So this is aware to respond to you, but then I have another parallel being aware of this awareness. So far, I was thinking only one can, like, you can be aware and then that's what is important for life, right? To be successful, everything. But this a parallel awareness of the awareness itself. This is facing you, and this is facing this, the awareness itself. So these two are working in a constant parallel.
See, at the end, there is no two, only one. Okay. It's
Mhm.
whenever there is, when you say two, then the mind has come.
Two as in not like a separateness. I'm not talking about two entities here. Like, look, I am aware of this conversation, right? And I'm aware of the awareness. So I'm talking about two awarenesses here. I'm like, I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm kind of
First,
clear in my
first,
mind.
no,
I'm
no.
good.
First, that's what says in book. First,
Yeah,
it will feel like that.
yeah.
There are two awareness. This me, and I am aware of the awareness. It
Yeah.
says that good. First, it will feel like that, but as you grow further, it dissolves into one. It's just one awareness simply, because we are programmed long from long back. We are programmed like that.
Yeah.
Ki there is. It's very difficult to find the mind because imagine awareness never speaks. So who's speaking?
Mm.
No, I think. See, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm hijacking the conversation.
No, no, that's okay, perfectly fine. That's why we are here. We are not here to play something else. We are here to explore the awareness.
If it is only awareness, I think mind can play with that awareness and then keep us live and then keep us our life going.
Yes,
But mind
yes.
cannot be aware and as well as aware of itself. So that's the trick. That's where I think the aware, like the noumenon place, is a
Yeah.
critical thing.
Did you
Okay.
say the mind can't be aware of itself? Is that
That's
what
what
you just said?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, that's what I kind of, yeah.
This is, I am loving it because this is the mind's finest play in the play. Mind is trying to take this concept of awareness and apply it how it can be used in a different life situation. So
Yeah.
now for mind thinking awareness is a tool.
It's a
How,
lab
how can I use
where we
it?
need to experiment. Right, Preeti, we need to experiment here. If we have to fail here, come on.
I know. How can I use this awareness to get I want what I want? How can I apply that into the practical solution? Uh,
Otherwise, it becomes boring.
Look at them. See, this is the magic of mind. It can take anything, and essentially, mind is a survival mechanism. So all it thinks about how to best survive.
Mm.
You understand? And anything particular thing it does or wants or gets, it just says, okay, how can I use it? How can I make use of it and make my life better? Whereas what we are learning is that I am already better.
Mm.
I am already full. I lack nothing. Do you
The
understand?
mind says no, otherwise.
Yeah, 100%. So mind says you lack everything. Only if you take this awareness and apply into some situation, I might earn $1 million, or I might become successful, or I might. So for mind, even the awareness becomes means to end.
Mm.
See, this is that's why I said it's the finest play. And mind can also say, if I don't get anything out of it, why the hell I'm reading this book? Why do I care about awareness?
Does the mind, like, when we're in awareness,
Mhm.
does the mind know that?
Sorry.
Like, if we're in awareness
Mhm.
and we're aware of the awareness,
So if you are aware awareness, you only aware of awareness, you are not aware of
there's
mind.
no mind in that.
Yeah, then you're still,
So
there's no
there's nothing for the mind to enjoy. That
there's no
that
thought.
that that experience, the mind doesn't enjoy it.
It does, it does. It when you are in yourself as in awareness, when you reside in awareness, a dopamine starts to flow. And when the dopamine start to flow, the mind and body likes that flow because every activity mind and body doing is to experience dopamine.
Mm.
But when you are in the self, as a self and resting as awareness, automatically that, because it's a nature of self, joyful, and the dopamine start to release. So that's why the book says somewhere, ki once mind get hangs of it, mind will start to like it because it likes that effect. of what it does to mind and body.
Mm.
But this happened with me, so don't feel bad. Everything mind will try to use.
Mm.
And all mind is concerned about how can I make my life better.
Mm.
But mind comes from the whatever. So mind comes from the place of lackness.
Right.
And it always constantly pushing everyone to use in whatever at their disposal so that they can make their life better. But what we are doing here, reading this book, we are coming back to the very source of who we really are,
Mm.
from which the entire universe has been created, which is so powerful that if you abide by your true nature, which is awareness, the life corrects itself. The mind corrects itself, the body corrects itself. And when the mind and body corrects itself, your frequency changes. Your relationship becomes meaningful. You are no longer using other people as a means to end. You are no longer, you become your authentic self. And everyone who comes in contact with you, whether in home, whether in office, wherever, they can feel that genuinity in you, and you start to change the dynamics of your life by being authentic
Mm.
you attract the same kind of people, you attract a lot of opportunities, you attract the trust of other people, you attract good things in your life, and automatically your life start to shift in a positive way.
Mm.
And abundance, because you are now residing as an abundant person who lacks nothing, what happens is the abundance actually gets attracted towards you, whether it's a physical, mental, spiritual, financial, everything starts to attract to you, resonates with you. So there is nothing mind can do to bring you abundance because your nature is abundant. The only problem is that the mind says, I want hard cash right now, right here.
Transfer would be fine.
Do you understand?
Like
And
big wads of it, like
yeah,
$10,000.
and
20.
imagine no amount of cash, no amount of cash will be enough for it. You have tried. Look back. You have tried long back. You have tried. You came from India. You had nothing. You had very less money. You had very less means. You had less comforts. You had less, opportunities. You had everything less. Now, if you compare today with your past, it is 10,000% more. The opportunities, the way of living, the comforts of life, the salary, everything you compare to your past, you are like a most abundant person if you compare your own life. Forget about the worldly things because I was reading other day. If you earn $32,000 a year, you are in the world's 1% people.
Mhm.
Can you imagine? So entire 8 billion population, if you earn 32,000 Australian dollar or American dollar, you are in the top 1% people. Still we lack. So what is that thing which we can do to mind? It will say, okay, now I feel abundant. There's nothing. Now the real abundance comes from within, which is you are experiencing the lackness of within because you are experiencing the character. But when you see, okay, I am this awareness, and you check, it doesn't have boundaries, it doesn't have any color, it doesn't have any shape, it has a quality of liveliness, it cannot be cut, I cannot touch it, it is not tangible, it's not the object, it cannot be taste, it does not this thing. So you're touching the abundant self. Just touching it changes everything. But mind cannot understand this because we have been strongly pushed with our beliefs. Our beliefs are so strong that I have to work, I have to do, I have to earn money. It doesn't understand the mechanics how the money is earned, actually. It doesn't understand how to attract the promotion. It doesn't understand. It plays game to achieve all those things. You'll try to work hard. You'll try to show off to your boss. You'll try to some strange things. You want to win your friend. You'll do some extra things for that friend, and but they all see through it.
Hmm.
You think that nobody's seeing you, but people in that position, they have bigger awareness,
Hmm.
so they can see through. If you're a boss of company and you have 10 employees, you can see through them. The reason you are up there because of your awareness, and you can see through all those 10. There are exception to that as well, but I'm just saying in general that this boss will have 10 employees, and he can see through properly who is working hard, really hard, who is making drama, who is just trying to score brownie point. They know. Same like your children. Now you are a father or mother, you are aware of your both the children or two, three children. So you are in the higher awareness level where you are aware who is naughty, who is telling truth, who is not telling truth. No matter what drama they place, you are aware. So the dynamics, if you can understand, is if you abide as awareness, you are an authentic person, and you just take a inspired action and you just do what is needed to be done. You will not have choices, preferences, or game or politics, what needs to be done. You will just simply do what needs to be done. And in that being authentic, automatically you will get promoted, you will get all the opportunities thrown at you. And if that place is toxic, you will be kicked out of it.
Hmm.
Might feel bad for that time, but then you will reach where what resonates with you. It's that simple. It's very powerful, but one has to trust, have faith, and
Hmm.
take a leap of faith, because this is against all the conditioned we have been gone through. Who's next? Omkar, have you read?
Yeah, I can go. We were at the resistance to the practice, right?
Yeah.
The biggest resistance to the practice may come because you notice there are times when you feel you are unaware of the awareness and lost in thoughts. Perhaps at first, there may be long periods of time where this seems to be the case. You can overcome this objection by seeing that you are always aware and sometimes you are aware of the feeling or sense of being unaware. This sense of being blocked or unaware has appeared in front of you and your awareness is noticing it. Remove attention from the I am not aware feeling and bring it back to the fact that you can see or notice this feeling. Awareness is always on like the awareness is always on like the eyes are always seeing. You may walk into a dark room and say, I cannot see anything. And you may believe this. Just like your mind will say, I am not aware all the time and I cannot be aware of awareness when something big comes in front of me, like fear. It is more truthful to say that I can see total darkness in front of me, or in the case of this practice, I am aware of the feeling of being unaware. Once you realize this, you will see that you can never be unaware. Even at night time, when while the body sleeps, you will begin to notice that there is awareness of the mind being unaware or being asleep. If resistance continues, reread the chapter on self inquiry and the chapter on shortcut and apply them. Ask yourself what is aware of this resistance and is it affected by the resistance? Awareness is not the thought, I am aware. It is that in which all thoughts arise and merge back into. It is here before any thought arises to notice it arise. Therefore, no thought can block it in any way.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I don't know if we read the summary of the practice. Did we read that? Page before?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'll read that.
Mm.
Summary of the practice. Set aside time each day to sit down in any position and be aware of awareness. This is as simple as noticing that there is awareness already present. As soon as your awareness becomes aware of thoughts and pays attention to them, you must bring awareness back to looking at awareness. Each time awareness begins to look at thoughts, emotions, and distractions, you must bring it back to being aware of the awareness only. Repeat this for as long as the practice session continues. In the end, it will be seen that there is only awareness and nothing else actually exists. All that arises from this awareness, such as thoughts, a sense of me, is in fact awareness simply appearing as something and not actually a something. How can anything that arises from this awareness be anything other than awareness? Steam that rises from hot water is still a water.
Beautiful. Let's do one experiment. So usually you are aware of the world through senses, right? So you experience the world through senses. What happens if you close your ear? Like you know how we do Bhamri Pranayam? So put your thumb into your ear. First listen. Otherwise you'll put thumb and then you won't be able to listen. So what we'll do, we'll shut down the two major senses, which is, so you can shut down your mouth, tongue, nose will be open. But major two are the eyes and the ears, and we can shut them down. Now, if you create a vacuum with your thumb into your ear, listen first. And then when you do that, and then you close your eyes and just simply stay still and see what is in there. So the two major distraction will be gone, which is your sound and the visuals. So simply put your this thing like this in the eardrum, close the eardrums and close the eyes and stay like that for some time. What did you see? Did you see anything? Did you feel anything? So now when you came back now immediately your ear open, your eyes open. So suddenly the picture changed. So when the senses were closed, can you share what happened, Monica?
Yeah. So when the senses were closed, I was aware that now there is no light, there is darkness. I was aware of the pressure in my ears. I was aware of the beating of in the ears, and
Yeah.
then I was aware that my mind is now trying to think of thoughts.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was interesting, and then I was also aware that I'm trying to resist that.
Yeah. So tell me, is there any difference between I and awareness?
is is there any difference between I and awareness? I think awareness is just there, right? I is, I
So
mean,
basic,
awareness is you actually. It's,
yeah. So
yeah,
basically, in words, because who I am cannot be expressed in word. As soon as I express in word, it's a first thought, and the first thought is I.
yeah,
So the closest I can explain myself, even the awareness word is just a word. It's not
mm,
the actual thing. Okay. But for the lack of
correct.
language, we cannot understand it. That's why we call it awareness. But this is awareness. When I close all my senses, I was aware. I was aware. Who say I? So the closest thought to the awareness is I.
I, yeah,
So I am aware.
yeah,
I am awareness.
Sort of feels like the I is just the ego
It
talking.
is. It is ego. So I is the first thought of a mind. No, I is the mind.
So how can I be close to awareness if it's
Uh,
just the
Okay,
ego?
tell me who is okay. Tell me, Priti, who's watching me?
Uh, there's awareness watching you, but the mind's probably
Who is
listening to you.
awareness?
It's just there. There's no who. It's not a who.
Yeah, correct. You're saying right. But in general terms, you'll say, I am seeing you. So
Oh, okay.
you become awareness.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, tell me, this awareness, which is I close my eyes and I see I feel myself. There's a lack of words. I feel myself inside. It is nothing. It is live, alive. It is present. It's not object. And if you see in yourself, you'll find the same thing. If Monica finds that in herself, it's find the same thing. If Anjan finds that, he finds the same thing. So, in another word, what you said is correct. There is no who, me, or you. It's just there. It's there, here, there, everywhere. One Omkar's wife came this afternoon. She said one beautiful thing. I never heard that. She said, Mitaji, only way I, I feel I'm here and I feel I'm everywhere. The only way the here and there is defining of my because of my body sensation. If I don't have body sensation, I won't be able to tell whether I'm here or there.
Oh,
Do you understand?
yeah, yeah.
So the who I never heard something like that profound thing. She said she always knew that somehow that me is in everything. And when I first she couldn't understand. I took her 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. But finally, when she got it, because she was going to mind, 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 mind. So I keep, can you do it again? Can you do it again? Finally, when she got it, this beautiful thing came from her mouth. She said, "The only way I can I can define me as as because of this sensation happening from head to toes, that's only separating myself from here and there. If this sensation goes away, I won't be able to locate myself."
Hmm. How interesting. What a nice way to say it.
I, my even I like I look, whoa, that was like a realization for me. I said, "Wow, beautifully," because Awareness is everywhere. It's here, it's here, it's here, in between space, in between you, in between me. But just because the body sensation here in this point of view is experienced through this body form, the boundaries, imagine if the sensation goes away, how will you know where is the body? The only, if you close your eyes and when you see, you watch your body, what do you see? Only sensation,
Hmm.
isn't it? If you close your eyes and become aware of your body, what so what is that you're aware of? What exactly, what is the experience of awareness? Is the sensation, isn't it?
Mm.
Imagine if somebody takes out all your sensation, let's say give you anesthesia or local anesthesia to entire body, will you have sense of any body?
Hmm.
No.
Isn't it? How beautiful is that? So the only separating point between you and me and you and other object is this bodily sensation. Otherwise, there is no one awareness like my awareness, your awareness, or his awareness, that's all. It's all one. And it cannot be killed, it cannot be burned, it cannot be buried. It's all here, there, everywhere. One of the practice I do when I sit, I look at space. So usually we are trained at looking at object. So when I sit myself in in back back hall, or when I'm driving the car, I look at dashboard, but I don't look at the dashboard. I look at the space in which the dashboard is there. So try, this is one of the beautiful practice I have done. Like when I walk past somebody's house, so there is a beautiful front yard. Sometimes they have a beautiful front yards done. So I look at them, I feel like they are looking back at me, but I look at the space in which they are. Even sometimes beautiful houses, I feel like I'm looking at them and they're looking at me, and the space in between. So more being aware of the space.
The space in which they are.
Yes. So let's suppose you're sitting in your hall, there is a TV, there is sofa, there is everything. So you are aware of the object, but bring your attention to the space in which those objects are there. So right now I'm watching at the screen, but I'm also aware of the space between me and the screen. And immediately everything looks very close, very detailed. As soon as you look at the space, whatever object in that space, it looks very clear. It looks like a more profound, it looks more alive. And there is no purpose, like there is nothing I'm trying to get out of, your mind is like what I'm gonna get out of it and this and that. This one thing, uh, when this, you just do thing for sake of doing it, not wanting any experience out of it or not wanting anything out of it. So the right moment, like if you can come here, for example, and right now 1.5 hour gone almost, because it gone like a 5 minute for me. I don't know about you, uh, but that's what the time has lost track for me. I cannot. I can sit here whole night and still I'll feel like 5 minutes. But the real that's how the real progress is you can find in yourself. How does the is time becoming more lucid to you? Is time becoming irrelevant to you? That you're losing track of time, then you are doing it like you're going correctly in the path. And also, if we can come here and just simply I watch you and you watch me for 1.5 hour and not feel anything bored or anything, then we are going correct.
Hmm. Mita, is this question I have. I mean, it's more of sharing the experience and
Mhm.
others. When you asked us to do that practice of closing ears,
Mhm.
I mean, for me, it works really great because what my experience I have seen is there's kind of a ground zero somewhere,
Mhm.
and whatever else is having some kind of layers.
Yeah.
When we observe that, okay, there are some sounds coming in, somebody's talking, something is happening. It's
Mhm.
all happening in some layers.
Yeah.
And when you bring that attention back, when you say that I want that awareness, I call it that ground zero,
Mhm. Correct.
right? There is
Yes.
something which is very static,
Yes.
which I can feel. I mean, I call it a ground zero, but there is something, a wave which is just there, and
Humming.
everything is in layers.
Yeah. It's like a continuous hum.
Yeah, it's just that what happens is our attention is never goes back in day-to-day life. We are always playing in those layers.
Yeah.
The attention is always in those layers and in the noise, whatever you call it.
Correct.
The only practice that you need is how do you bring back to that ground zero or stay in that ground zero.
Now, once you look at who you are, that awareness or that consciousness, what practice can add anything to it?
Nothing actually.
Yeah. See, beautiful. This is the beauty of not using my. It's simple example I'll give you. It's a Goenkaji gave this example. You're going on a road, you see a snake,
Hmm.
and you get scared. Oh my God, it's a snake. Okay. Now you put a torch on that snake, and for your surprise, it's not a snake, it's just a rope.
Hmm.
Okay. Now the question is this: what can you do to save yourself from the snake? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a snake on the road, and you're very scared. Okay, he's gonna kill you.
Hmm.
Then somebody says, okay, why don't you take a torch and look at the snake? And
Hmm.
you take a torch and look at the snake, and you found that it's not a snake, it's just a
Hmm.
rope
Mm.
lying on the road, which pretended like a snake.
Which your mind thought it's a snake.
Yeah, but now you're in your awareness, you saw that it's a rope.
Hmm.
Now, what will you do to save yourself from that snake?
You don't have to save because naturally you're not scared.
Be aware,
Sorry?
be aware or be conscious. Like, is it,
You
I
saw
mean,
you saw what it is, right?
Yeah.
yeah, but to make sure whether is it a snake or it could be something else. Like,
So once you see it's a rope,
Yeah.
Need to do anything.
it cannot be undone.
Correct.
that's
You,
true.
once you have seen its rope, that no matter who comes and tells it's not rope, it's a snake, you will not believe because once what you have seen, you cannot be undone. So when you see yourself as a awareness, there's nothing you can do which can undone it.
Mm. Got it.
Yeah.
There is no practice, there is nothing you can do. Actually, in this place, you abandon everything else.
Mm.
All the practices needs to be abandoned now. You are at the advanced level now. It's the ultimate height of spirituality. No mantra, japa, meditation technique, yoga, pranayama, niyama, nothing is going to work now. Because those were all signposts to reach here.
Mm.
This is the topmost layer of spirituality where you have to abandon all kinds of kriyas, all kind of techniques, everything. Everything was for you to come here. Now it's a simple practice. First, either you just simply become that you are aware of awareness, like you are aware, like I'm aware of the screen, at the same time, I'm aware of that I am aware of the screen,
Mm.
aware of awareness. I'm looking at the objects. I'm okay. I'm going on train. I'm looking at people, and then and I ask this question: Who is aware of these people?
Mm.
So self-inquiry. Keep doing self-inquiry. Who is aware of this moment, or what is aware of this moment?
What is?
Let's suppose you ask this question now. I'm looking at Mitaji. What is aware of Mitaji? So immediately what happens as soon as you ask, it comes back. It focuses on the awareness.
Mm.
So in day-to-day life, whatever you do, just simply ask this: what is aware of this moment?
Mm.
So keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. It's simple question. I always, when I started, I said, who's asking, who's asking, who's asking, like that. Is it true now? Is it relevant now? This kind of question. But now those are dissolved. Now there is no more those questions also. So slowly, slowly you doing self-inquiry, and slowly, slowly it starts dissolving. Then one time you simply just abide as awareness. And you just simply know when mind plays a tricks, you are aware that mind is playing trick. Most of you already will be knowing now by now. Whenever your mind plays trick, you'll be knowing that, oh, this is my mind, this is not me. This is playing tricks. So subtle games of just know the subtle games of mind.
Yeah.
It wants to absorb the information. It wants to keep active. It wants to move forward. Doesn't let you sit in one place. So if you want to really test whether you're aware or aware, not aware, or being aware or not being aware, try to sit for half an hour doing nothing. You will know what is active. Okay.
Mm.
Chalo.
Yeah.
Anjan want to raise that. Anjan
No,
want
I
to.
think I was time checking. It's
Yep. Done. Yeah.
time.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's
Sound.
all have a good night.
Good night.
Good
Thank you so
night.
much.
Good
And
night. Thanks, everyone.
what you do is keep reading the all old chapters,
Mm.
and at least read 1 or 2 pages every day. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Till you